Good evening. Welcome to Come to Mama. I'm on a roll tonight. I just did a video not too long ago, but a topic came to mind. Who says you can't? And it came to mind because I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine. And the topic of the conversation was men and women having open relationships. And, you know, her question to me was, how why would a man marry a woman or a woman marry a man if they want to have open relationships with other people? And shockingly, I told her, I'm currently single, but that I may consider that, in my future endeavors in relationships because I've learned and I believe that we are here to experience each other, not possess each other. And she said, well, what's the whole purpose of marriage? And I had to explain it for what I meant by open relationships. And I would just say that open relationships to me are whether you're in a committed relationship with somebody, married to them, or you're just dating, or you guys are lovers, whatever spectrum of that relationship that you fit into, who says you can't make the rules up to your relationship? Who says that, it has to be what it always has been? So for me, an open relationship would be that, let's say I'm dating somebody and we're not committed yet, but we're seeing each other, we're fancying each other, we're liking each other. And let's say that we live in two different states or countries, with the understanding of an agreement that we came to, that you could see other people or sleep with other people. I could see other people and sleep with other people. And then when we come together, we experience each other and we're respectful about it. So, not in the sense that, oh, well, I want you to throw the girl in my face, you know, or I'm going to be, bringing the dude into his face. That's disrespectful to me. Um, And so that is what I meant by open relationships, and that I would consider it. Now, if it came to a point where in the relationship you decided to become committed to one another, or if you were in a commitment, because a commitment is more than just a sexual relationship, it's much more to it. So, if you are committed to just being one on one with one another, maybe it's for the purposes of, you know, the worry of venereal diseases or unwanted pregnancies with other people, or just that person you're dealing with is just not solid enough for you to deal with. You may change that option of having an open relationship and just be one on one. But who says you can't? I guess what I find is that redefining relationships is really important right now in our lives. Um, we've had to redefine them in so many ways just due to the fact of us having the lockdowns and not being able to have access to each other, being alone or feeling alone, or not necessarily having somebody that lives with you, all the time. And so, people get lonely and people want human interaction. That's all it really is. Sometimes there is a connection and passion and, more than just a friendship. Sometimes it's just a friendship. So, I mean, but we ourselves should be able to define how we want these relationships to pan out. There's just not one specific way that it used to be. And I think that that's why people have a lot of relationship problems, is because they base their relationships on how their parents or their past relationships were. And then you even find out that the past relationships were, toxic or not realistic. And then there's times when people have cheated, and people sometimes can't come back from that. But I just think really what's more important in in relationships is honesty and coming to an agreement of how you want to navigate that relationship with that person. And I think that's the hardest thing in the world for people to do, because that's why you have so much relationship drama and um, cheating, and you know, because you can't be real with somebody and just tell them, "Hey, I love you, but I don't want to just be with you. Um, I want to date other people," and that other person gets butt hurt, like they're not anything important to that person anymore, and it could be a phase that that person's going. I guess what I'm saying is through my traumatic relationships or issues with cheating, I understand a lot better now. And now that I'm divorced, um, I understand that had we had come to an agreement that that was how we were going to do things, and I could have possibly dealt with that situation or him for me, and maybe we would still be in a functional, loving relationship. But it was just a lot of deception and lying going on. And that's when relationships tend to end. It's because each person's usually looking at each other as a possession that's their own, and they're not looking at the fact that they're just two different people. They see different things differently, that they're there really to experience each other. And if the agreement is that, if you feel that your mate is safe enough, that they're going to put a condom on, or that your woman's going to make sure that the man she deals with is going to wear a condom. If you guys are, responsible, adults, then, you know, there's a possibility that an open relationship might work for you. You know, I mean, I've even seen. It seemed like it was a phase. I'm not sure if I've heard it, but I know about 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, they used to have like swingers clubs where I lived, and married couples would go and pick people, and I mean, I guess that's fine too. I really can't say whether it's right or wrong. All I can say is what works for you. Who says what works for you when it comes to the relationship with your mate? So, a lot of people are so stuck in the old paradigm of, you know, like I said, possessing each other, that, you know, it can get dangerous. It can get dangerous, and, it can stunt the growth of the relationship. So, I'm not saying that in general that's just what I want, but I've thought about it and I thought, well, for me, if I dealt with someone, like say a long distance relationship, and we were really vibing and liking each other, and we might come together once in a while, but understanding that it might be, every couple of months. And if we agreed that, okay, well, you might deal with other people. You grown, you can decide whether or not you want to deal with other people, and I will too. I'm not gonna throw it in your face, like he better than you. No, no, or she's all that. It's just maybe they have a sexual need, to that they need handled, that you can't give them. Maybe they need some companionship at that time that you can't give them. And um, I just find that when people are upfront and honest, and they state, you know, the, I wouldn't call it rules, but just how you want that relationship to go, um, and it's an agreement by both, I don't see no problem with it, whether it's to be committed or to have an open relationship. So you have to figure out which one works best for you. But just don't be stuck in the old thoughts of the way things are supposed to be, because things are changing tremendously these days, and we're reinventing. you know, how we deal with each other, whether it be in relationships, um, reinventing how we deal with each other online. I mean, there's just so many different variables about that. So, I just wanted to bring that up because it came up tonight and my friend was just appalled that I was like, I would consider possibly, as long as we agreed to that. And it's not that we got together and I thought it was one thing and then you had a whole nother female over on the side. That right there is not going to work for me because that was deceptive and you lying to me, telling me that this is something that it really wasn't. And so that's why I won't deal with you. And it wouldn't work for me. But if up front we came to the agreement and then things can change and we decide, well, you know what, we just want to be 100% with each other. And so we're going to cut all that stuff out and move forward. But who says you can't? Who says you can't do anything in this life? Who says you can't make your own rules? Yeah, probably society, probably, you know, older folks. And this friend of mine, she's a little bit older than me. I think she got at least 10 years on me. And so I can and I try to understand where people are coming from and why they think the way they do, as I said in my last video. So, we can't expect everybody to be progressive and want to move forward in that kind of way. But I highly suggest that people really start trying to progress ourselves into different situations because the way the future is looking, we're going to have to learn how to have different types of relationships with people just for survival, I think. And experiencing each other is, it can be great just as well as, um, because, well, I would just say that because you don't know. You might not be able to see that person again, You just don't know, what that relationship may be, but you want to make the time that you have with special people in your life that you vibe with and you're passionate about, you want to make it count for that moment in time instead of worrying about, oh, who they gonna be messing with and who am I, or are they gonna be mad at me because I found somebody that I really vibe with that I'll never see again or whatever the case may be. But again, the topic is who says you can't, and what I would like for you to do and what I have confidence in you doing is reinventing your life in and not looking at things as they were and had to be and reinventing them into what you want it to be for you in your life. Because ultimately, you're the person that's going to have to deal with the situation. And if you're dealing with a situation that you're not happy with or you're feeling weighed down by, there's just not going to be any room for growth. So I have confidence in you and you know, just kind of take into consideration what I'm talking about. And, you can like and subscribe, and I'll have more topics of discussion coming up. So have a good morning.